All right, Reverend Sirs and Upasaka, Upasika, and friends. Okay. Good evening. Okay. So as usual, this is my happiest day because the last talk. Should I speak a bit louder? Because otherwise, okay. It's my last talk, you know, and I usually feel like I can have a wonderful, joyous meditation when I think about this. Actually, that's also kind of like sometimes when you learn this force of mind by the meditation, and one of the also very useful ways that sometimes we may be much more aware of our mind, you know, what happened with our mind. And this kind of awareness is, even though it's kind of like not necessarily have to directly to do like the joyous meditation, but it has a close connection. So that is sometimes when you feel your mind become delighted and happy, you can take your mind as an object of meditation. So then you feel the joy arise. Now let me give you one of the example. And I mean, still in my memory vividly, and that kind of memory sometimes help me too. But not necessarily I would take the same object, but a similar situation, or similar experience, or similar situation. So there was once when I was in England, I still remember, you know, when you do a research, and you have so many burden. Okay, actually, I always tell people the most difficult to do the research. I mean, there are many things, but one of the things, and lots of people find difficult to cope with, is the patience. And then we always wanted to get the result fast, and then we always want to get the way that we want to. But if you have a supervisor not necessarily, you know, agree with you, and also because of the environment or because of language barrier, many things, so you're bound to face a lot of a challenge. Okay, and here. It's so there was a time, so I would feel really like down, very difficult, and but you know what I learned is that I just need to take a walk. So I went out to take a walk, and I just and of course when I was walking, my mind was still actually fully trapped by my worries. In other words, in Buddhism called the defilements, worries, and I feel really, you know, upset. But whatever around me, usually I feel beautiful place, okay? But it doesn't seem very beautiful to me. Things just fall down, looks like, you know, and I started to pick up something not necessarily pleasant to my eyes too, right? And then suddenly I was kind of walking, because in the place I study, and we have a kind of sliding down, you know. So I have to be very careful sometimes because I didn't want myself to slip on the floor. So that might be helping me too. Because kind of like I still had to keep alert a little bit. And then I saw there was a table outside, a small round table, and then I recognized that table. Of course, in England, kind of like, you know, you can have a coffee. And I started to feel that I was thirsty and I needed coffee. And also I like the idea. It looks like sitting there, have the coffee is a wonderful feeling, you know. So it's a sign to show you're relaxed. And somehow, even though I wasn't really sure of mine, but I somehow knew that's what I need. So, and it cost maybe only £3, I think. So then I went inside, ordered coffee. And then I took the coffee out. Actually, my mind still infused with defilements. In other words, mean worries, not happy, something there. But then I sit there, unexpectedly, when I just had the first sip of the coffee, and I feel, wow. Like, you know, something like sparkling in the head. And then that time, I noticed that is a joy, right? And then, and I keep, at that time actually, I still enjoy my coffee and drinking, but I wasn't really enjoy with the tongue. In other words, mean really like, oh, this coffee is this, no. I was actually, with that moment, I was keep my kind of like my meditational awareness on that wonderful feelings, that wow, right? So I stay there, and then somehow I feel very bright, and then things change. and looks like the car passing down, and people going passing by me, you know, because on the street, right? I was on the street. Looks beautiful, wonderful, and everything looks suddenly become, how to say, like a pictures to me. When I want to say pictures, mean like a movie, like you're in a movie. You know, people are walking by, car passing down, so you become almost like a center in the universe, kind of like. So, and not only that, actually, I still, because I saw this thing and I feel this thing, I'm not chasing anybody, I'm not follow anyone, but I just let my mind be joy, enjoy, 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 enjoy. So, and that's actually, I have to say, that experience changed some of my understanding of the meditation too. So it changed my understanding of the meditation is, yeah, you know, you don't have to be really, yes, in technique, you have to meditate with the joys, but you actually could take what right there, the joys, and develop this joy meditation. But then later, of course, because of that, I'm still doing my research. I want to say they changed my day, not only just one day, it changed my many days. that out of the defilements, that moment, it's make me really like energetic, right? Things are different. And then after also when I still keep on doing research, I was very happy actually to find in Paticampitamagga, anyway, one of the texts in Chinese called Wu Ai Jie Tuo Dao, okay? And it did mention that, you know, so if you do meditation, but it is describing about the mindfulness of breathing. So you actually could, you know, in the samadhi, by first develop this Pamodya, okay? But sometimes we translate as joy too. And then with the Pamodya, it will lead you to enter the samadhi, okay? Anyway, so, and this is, let me, like, you know, there are so many, Buddha have been teaching many wonderful hints. But sometimes those hints I want to say is that because you really applied it. Otherwise, I read it many times because my research is on the subject. I never really pay attention, and it doesn't, I don't know how to say you read it, it's just like you don't read it, I don't know, you know. And then that time, after that, and when I read it again, I say, that is really, you know, something there, right? So this is just one thing to remind. So when we do meditation, some people might think, oh, you know, I learned this wonderful, nice. They take it almost like they see in a movie, you know. Okay, forget it, you know. But no, actually, you want to be better in Dhamma. In other words, better to be staying in a good nature, with a good nature, or you want to be more wiser and you want to be more better. So you have to try to actually somehow. I'm not asking you to restrict yourself, you know, with the method, but you know, you have to try to expand it to use that in your daily life. Okay, like what I say. But if you ask me how did I come up there, is because I knew that just joy meditation, and then I did learn a little bit. You know, I use a little bit. But that moment actually realized, also helped me to realize that how important sometimes in the life, you know, is that you could use a joyous meditation. But also how important actually you can have the samadhi too. And in addition, if you can, when you feel that there's a joy there, that itself will help you actually to develop the joyous meditation. In other words, it makes your life very nice and beautiful. Okay, so that is one of the things I need to share with you. Now, besides that, my topic today will be also about much regarding with the mind. We have to understand the mind is always must have the object, and the object can be what you're thinking, okay, or the object can be what my eyes see, okay, and the object can be what your nose smell, yes, what your tongue tastes, and what your ear hear, and the object can be what your body feel, right? But when you are practicing like meditation, usually what we are trying to, I mean, usually, I don't mean that it's strictly only, but usually we are trying to just apply the mind and then to read the mind. That's why I do it. And also let the mind has the right object. Okay, I mean, it's very hard for a lot of people to understand that theory. We also must understand, Buddha once said, oh, I like the one of the statement too, the Buddha say, when our mind, when the mind have the, when the intention is a kind of mind quality, right? When the intention is there, and then you have a disturbed mind, and then the intention mind will associate with this disturbed mind. So because the mind can never be out of the object. Can you understand? Now, and then the another sentence is, when you have an intention mind, and then you definitely have an intention mind, and then you don't have this disturbed mind there, but your mind will still actually will stay with the non-disturbed mind. But this is how the mind exists. You know, you don't get it? In other words, means, say, I give you another example, like, you know, when I, maybe back to the coffee, okay, the drinking coffee moment. So when I drink coffee, if I look at the tongue, of course, it's a different thing. But if I look at my mind, I feel nice, right? That is nothing to do with the tongue, but it's purely mind. I'm sure now people can, when you do meditation, if you're not doing meditation, it's very hard to talk this topic. People, what they're talking. But I mean, when you do meditation, you somehow know. You could just purely focus something, you don't feel your body, you don't feel anything, right? Like that. So when you can just meditate, I say they drink the coffee, and you know that the mind. So that time, my mind maybe say that in a confusion, okay? But what I want to say, my intention was looking at my mind, but I was not looking at the confusion mind, right? I was looking at something pure, nice. So that is mean when my mind is not disturbed, and my intention will stay with the non-disturbed mind. So that's how the mind exists. Okay.
You said the mind always has to have an object.
Mm-hmm. And we always have the intention. Mm-hmm. And then you may be look at the mind itself as like a background. So, okay, maybe that's easier to just kind of example. And then when there's a pure mind there, that means non-disturbed mind, joy, yeah, right? So this mind is not disturbed, but isn't so, and I just stay with the mind, and that's how my mind exists, right? Okay, but that is what we call, but you can say that is called the wholesome mind. But when the mind, when your mind is a lot of, but this is another thing, is like when the mind, let's say you are full of the hatred, right? And then when your mind have an intention and you look at the hatred, and then you go more angry and hatred, right? No? Okay, maybe other thing is easier to think this way. So I'm trying to think something, I get very angry. And then now you look at, you are really get angry, and then your mind is stay with the angry. You get more angry, right? But sometimes you get angry, of course. Let me tell you one thing. Sometimes you get angry, maybe you can explain this way. You get angry because you're in confusion. The anger is trigger your confusion, you don't know what happened. So actually, because of the ignorance, and then the anger comes. Sometimes you get angry because the object of anger is there. Okay? You know what I mean? All right. But I want to say is the what is it again? Okay. However, what is it? If our mind can stay, okay, whether it is a focused mind or not focused mind, in other words, without distraction or with a distraction. No, sorry, maybe better to say, if let our mind to stay without a distraction or neither, no, in other words, mean without distraction or with distraction. So, but if you see that there's see the defilements will go away, this is also, that's how you see the mind exist. Can you know? No. In other words, it means, now the another sentence, my understanding is this. So if it, let's say if I have joyful mind, and if I let my mind stay in a joyful mind, and then I not only I become joyful, and I know that I don't have anything happen, like I don't get angry, I don't have resentment, I don't have, say, harmful mind because I want the person, I curse that person, that means I have a hurtful, harmful mind. Or I don't have ignorance because I don't know what's happening with me, but I know exactly what's happening with me, right? So that means those defilements is gone. So actually, and on that kind of state, you can understand, you are not just purely stay in the joyness there, but you stay in the place like either, because imagine when you know you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have this, you don't have that, you could understand it kind of like you don't have the defilements. I mean, you don't have defilements, sure. You are still can be like disturbed mind or not disturbed mind when you're in that kind of state. Understand? Or maybe you can understand more like a neutral. Okay, maybe somehow easy to say. No? So this is in other words, mean this might be helping you. So when you do meditation in forced sublime abiding meditation, not only just because you can cultivate a good quality in the mind, but it's also you can understand actually your mind can be disturbed or not disturbed. Okay, when your mind is not disturbed, and then you can always take that mind as the non-disturbed mind as an object of a meditation, and it become it still is a way let your mind exist, but it's a good way, right? But then, however, if you can have a further realization through that, so when your mind stay in a place that suddenly in a way called neither disturbed or not disturbed, that means you are beyond this, just only stay in a good place and just be joyful or what. So, and then you'll be able to see what kind of defilement is being away. That is actually is one of the more advanced stage of your meditation. Okay. You know? So because why, maybe easier to explain in a simple language, because you are not just because you stay in a good state or mental state, you also have developed the awareness or kind of like the wisdom part, because you know what kind of defilement has been being cast away. So, but especially if you learn Abhidhamma, then you know very well when you, like people, they say, okay, now I meditate. I don't want to describe too much because, you know, I don't want the people, anyway, I don't want to describe, but just like when you meditate and you feel nice, you're on that kind of nice state for a long time. But for people only like, oh, in a long time, so, and when they come up from the long time, they feel the mind is very clean, right? And that is good. But if you know, when you come out, it becomes very clean, and you can let that kind of very nice, clean mind stay, keep on staying. Sometimes it can be disturbing and not disturbing, you know what I'm saying? That's what it means. You get it now? Sometimes it can be disturbing and sometimes not disturbing. You let them kind of mind stay. And this is how mind exists too. So mind is not only exists in one way, like only in a bad way. No, the mind is not only exists in the other way also, just in a good way. Like have a samadhi or the pure, nice mind. But the mind also can exist in the when there's a bad and the good way come in. Okay, so and of course that is usually it means you're going to the second stage, so of the mind. And then when you can do so, if you have a more ability to realize, oh, now some kind of thing lost, not attached with me. That's what we call, then you know what defilement is been stripping off. Okay, say then you know, oh, the anger is not there, my normally reaction of the hatred is not there, and then I can more aware, I become much more aware, right? And then I become more generous to people. And at this time, everybody asks me anything, I usually say yes. Almost no, right? And then what else? And also, normally I might be very cautious. I don't want to share something to people, but this time, when people ask me, I sincerely just want to share my experience, right? Like that. So the Maitreya means the Mysore, you will release that also. And then, and those things, what we call, actually we have, later on in Buddhism, we have many terms for that. So, and those things, what we call, let me see, Anukilesa, let me see, I forgot the English translation. Anyway, it's, anyone know Anukilesa? 水烦恼, how to translate in English? Secondary, yeah, secondary, now when you say that, yeah. It's a secondary defilements that will strip off because of that when you have the samadhi, okay? And this kind of recognition actually is also a practice, very close to what we, actually is a kind of practice if you want to say to vipassana. It's actually is a vipassana too. But because you know when what is established and what is then will be, certainly will be kept away. So, and this kind of build up this ability will make you to love your mind always to stay in focus rather than let your mind be drowsy, be attacked by the five hindrances. It's not just because of five hindrances. More than that, then you know. More than because there are so many defilements like secondary defilements or what we call envelopment, anyway, different type of names, all these kind of defilements or the problem thing will stick to you. So just like you have a beautiful clothes and then you know some kind of clothes, the one that you like the most, but always there are lots of things stick to you, right? Somehow you always have to use this, I don't know what to call that one. What roller? Lens roller call. I say, I don't know how to call that. The lens roller, still is not powerful enough. You use another more powerful one. But sometimes problem is that when you use a more powerful one, it might be even strip of some of the beautiful kind of fur. Well, anyway. So, but I want, it's like that, and then you have when your mind, when you have the samadhi, and all this just drip off. Okay, when the samadhi is not there, still it will attach to you. Because kind of like when you have the samadhi, you start to have what to call, like an oily thing there, might be. Still make it too shining, beautiful, but it can, it would not attach to that.
About daily samadhi, are you mindfulness?
I'm talking about daily already, daily. So, because I don't want you just thinking samadhi as just sitting there. So, I'm talking in daily. So, or in a general concept. So, okay, when that, only when you recognize that, so you will always, because otherwise it's very hard. Otherwise you always think, I'm good, okay? You can be, sometimes the problem of people when they practice for some life, I think it's a little okay, but still it's not 100% guarantee, actually. But if you special practice some other people, the proud is very easy to come up. You see, actually one of the anukilesa, it means the secondary defilements. So it's that you feel jealous of people, and then say the jealousy, and then also you hide yourself. You hide hide mean you hide something not good in your heart. And then if you are stripped off, you are very honest. You say, I have that problem, but I'm working on it, right? Rather than, I don't have problem, it's you have problem, right? Everybody has a problem, I just don't have problem, like that. So I want to say this kind of natural thing. That's what we call a secondary defilement, okay? But people, if they learn Buddhism, they might know what are they. So those things they strip off, and if you can recognize that, and you start to know, actually when that been, this kind of anything that attached to my clothes, if able to be stripped off, I can be so relaxed, so comfortable. Maybe in English you can say, I can really be myself. Maybe that's a word to say. I can really be myself. And it's become a time, I don't mind you judge me, whatever, right? You judge me, that's you create your own wrong karma. It's nothing to do with me. Be there. So that kind of thing. Okay, you want to judge, you judge, and you just create your own karma. And of course, when you develop this kind of ability, and then you're always very careful about your mind, right? Only when you know, oh, my clothes has so many things and I can clean it off. Like normally you clean it off, like you worship the Buddha, Buddha help me, and then you rub it, and some clothes off. But then again you will attach to you. But actually you do find there's one powerful one, is that it makes you happy, makes you be yourself, makes you have a wonderful feelings, but it all just gone off, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to buy different type of thing to, try to rub here, to rub there, so it just strip off. So what do you think? And then you definitely will want to maintain that. No? I don't know why. No response again. Or in the equanimity. I'm sorry, Master, I'm practicing equanimity. So, and when you recognize that kind of the mind, this is very important actually. So then you always try to maintain your mind not to be contaminated. See? Now, so this is one of the sutta also that I will share with you. Another thing to share with about 5 things. So then you know your mind is clear, and you want to also try to maintain it. Now we're talking about how to maintain, to the maintenance now. See, with the maintenance is still, of course, because when you walk out with the beautiful clothes, still there's the dust going around, right? So and then that is just a simile. But I want to say the mind is that the way is that sometimes you still bound to have these objects, which are unpleasant objects appear. Means when your mind, like, even though I try to maintain my mind, but I bound to face, I get angry also, right? And then when I get angry or I feel greedy also, right? Angry is the first thing because comparatively angry is rougher, much easier to feel than greedy, okay? So, and then ignorance is even more subtle in that if you want to compare, it's not necessarily all the time, but if we want to compare, we really want to grade it. All right, so let's say angry. So, and then the objects come, so what you have to do, then you know it's angry. So, because you want your mind clear, but you still cannot, so you need to fight with the anger. Go. Okay, really fight with anger. But in the Buddhist teaching, to fight in the anger, you cannot with the hatred to fight with the anger, because Dhammapada said it very clearly. With the hatred towards hatred, it's never cease the hatred, right? Only you can cease the hatred only when you're only without hatred towards the hatred, okay? But if your hatred is just like you split yourself right up here on your face, when you spit up, and then the saliva, the spit will just fall back to your face, right? That's what the Dhammapada said very clearly. So, I mean, don't you agree? No? Okay, if you don't agree, raise your leg, okay? All right, so that's say, so when then, so only, and only without hatred, can cease the problem. Okay. So, in other words, when we learn a way already. So, when that hatreds come, how you fight, then you have 4 weapons with you, right? Metta is one of the weapons, not working very well. Compassion is the second weapon, not working very well. And then the third one. So, the sympathy or the joys, no, and then it's not working very well. Equanimity is not working very well. What happened? And then you use 4, okay? No, I'm talking very subtle thing. When the hated mind, you knew that your hated mind is still there. Okay, I'm saying this thing is not the normal already. When the subtle hated mind is there, you have to face it because you see it, right? Just like I said in earlier time, when you drink the coffee, you see the joy. You stay with the joy, right? Now I'm saying that when you're able to know these kind of defilements can be stripped off. Now, but however, you still have this thing coming in, okay? The defilements come in. So, and then this defilement, of course, you could say is more like what we call this anusaya, procativity. Anyway, those are different names. So when it come up, it's not just a secondary defilement, it's called a primary defilement. Like hatred is a primary defilement, the proud, is a primary defilement, like of course, the craving and the ignorance is primary defilement. The wrong idea about the precepts is like that. All these primary defilements come out, and then you could just actually face it. And now I'm saying about hatred now, you can just fight it with the right object. Of course, in tradition, if you have the last come out, I'm not saying just object, it's a mind. I'm talking mind now, okay? And then, of course, you have to use another way to fight it. Like, for example, you have to maybe try to meditate something else and let it become weak, and so on and so on, okay? Anyway, I'm talking about hatred at the moment. So you use the right object to fight with what you should. Now, there's a simile beautifully say, just like, when a carpenter, the carpenter, they have a kind of, what do you call it? They have a hole, right? And the hole stuck with the, cork, the cork? Okay, let's say a bottle, not bottle, like let's say a hole. You have stuck with a kind of wood there, right? But you want to take that out. How do you take that out? You pull it, it's very hard, right? You know what I'm talking. Say there's a plank of wood and there's a hole, right? But the hole stuck with something, like there's another, like this kind of thing there, for example. You want to take this out. No.
You use the same one.
You use a smaller one, actually. Facing it, right? Just punch it and it will go out, right? So that's the first simile. That's why you have to use the right one, and then you fight with that, and then the mind and the so-called, the very primary actually, mostly, the primary, I'm saying that when you have a good samadhi, okay? The primary, the defilement will be drop off. So, and also that's very important, because then you recognize that when the drop off that moment, or at least to stay for some time, how wonderful that could be. Yes?
So when you see the secondary defilements, you find the primary defilement and work with that?
No, you can do so, but you can do so, but I was explaining actually it's like you don't have the secondary defilement. So, but you are still, because you have a good samadhi, right? So the secondary defilement definitely will strip off. So I just explained that way. Actually, I explained this way to also encourage you. Sometimes why it's so important to have the samadhi, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that's the stress point too. People say they not important. They are important because the secondary defilement will strip off. Okay. However, even though it's strip off, because our primary defilement is still all the way, from the long past with first. Of course, they are the one who make this secondary defilement out. Now, it may arise also, okay? But I also try to explain this in order to explain the statement means when there is either the good or not good, but your intention still will stay with that, associate with them. And that's how the mind exists. So that's from another sutta. I want to link these two things. So in other words, here, so in order to solve the problem, then you have to use the right object. So just like the simile, just have to kick it out by that way. It's only kind of very subtle, but it's very powerful mind action. Okay. I hope that's clear already. Yeah. And then, of course, it's not all the time we are able to make it also, right? So, and then if the second time, if we cannot able to make it, so, and you have to feel disgust about it. This is disgust about it. Just like, give a simile is much easier. You have to discuss when the hatreds come out. It's so disgusting, this thing. Don't love it, okay? So, no, I didn't say aversion, I said disgust.
But it's a form of aversion.
No. But of course in English maybe, I'm not here to say, I don't know how to explain. Maybe give you simile, as a Buddha say. You know, just like a person in the life, they never know that person is a blind person, and then somebody are very mischief. That's how our defilement. They always associate you and makes you feel like you think you're right, you're beautiful. So what is that? It's like a guy was, and then the person who put a dead corpse on a body, but he's a blind, he never see it, right? And then they say, you know, I give you a most beautiful thing on your neck, the most beautiful, what do you call, scarlet? Scarf, no scarlet. Scarf, yeah. The most beautiful scarf, right? And then on your shoulder, and then you think, oh, wow, this is so beautiful, so nice, right? And then when your eye have the light, that means your eye is open, and you saw, what? This is so horrible thing on my body. What do you think? You lick it? You throw it away, right? Right, that's what I mean by disgust. And 厌恶 in Chinese, 你就是有起这个厌恶心啊。So anybody have a better translation? Not if it not disgust, like you could. Yeah, I think disgust and what else? 厌恶. Anyway, you know what I mean. There's a sense. So and then you really want to throw that away. So, but that's only when you open the eyes, right? If otherwise, you never know you're wearing something horrible. The same thing nowadays, people say this is a healthy food. It's good for you. When you take more, you'll have no cancer, you'll be what. And then after a year, 2 years, and some scientists say, that caused you cancer. You know, and I don't think you want to eat it again, you know. And actually in those days, you take it very cherished, wow, you know, very expensive, you know, when those bad businessmen do that way to you. And you know what I'm saying? Okay, that's it. So that's the second one. And you really had to learn to feel disgusted. So that sometimes it works for you. Remember? First one, attack it with the proper means. Second one, feel disgusting. Okay. And then the third one is that maybe the same phenomena, like in other words, the same phenomena means that it will come again. Sometimes you will be easily to tackle with these two, but still the mind, I'm saying this actually is very subtle and subtle now. So when the mind have something arise, I mean the defilements arise, not good thing arise again. And then what you have to do? Anyone? You can pretend it's not there. You should do your good thing. All right? This is very hard. No. You know you're pretending. How can you?
Protection.
No, it's not delusion. Delusion, you don't know anything happened. You know. No. Just like what? Just like when the guy come up and then you don't like the guy, right? In all day, may you be well and happy, may you be free from suffering, out of compassion, may you be free, and all this, and all joy. But you cannot do it. And then you feel disgusting, the feeling of the hatred, right? And then now you cannot do it. So what you have to do, you pretend that the person is not there. Even he standing in front of you, you don't see the person. I'm sure you can do that somehow. No? Hello?
Yep, we can.
Okay. Good, I hear some voices. No. Yeah, but you do it all the time is fine, as I say, but you know you're doing it. But that is not only one means to do it, okay? So, and then you pretend like a mind, and you know the hatred is there. You don't let this hatred mind become infested with you, you know. So you just know it, and then you pretend you're looking for something else. But he just won't appear again. Hi, I'm here. Hi, I'm here. I'm here. But you know, you just, I know you're here, but you just pretend you don't see it. So that's the third alternation. Yes?
Is that the same as ignoring
maybe the pretend is also a wrong word. Yeah, ignore it, yeah. But you know it, okay? You know you ignore it. It's not like you don't know. If you don't know, yeah, you ignore it, yeah. Intentionally you ignore it, yeah. You ignore it. And then also you can move that, to the other ones, if that also doesn't work to you. So what you have to do is that, the other one is that you just have to slow down your mind, okay? Slow down your mind, slow down your mind. So usually the simile is just like, when the people have when somebody have a very, the mind is very busy. When the mind is very busy, it's also one of the problem, right? When your mind sometimes is too busy, and then you want your mind to slow down. So what you have to do is that you do some exercise, and then trying to walk very fast, and then you started to, because you start to feel tired, you will slow down your pace, and then you help you to slow down your brain too. Okay. So in the same way, but now I'm saying that this is in the same manner. So and then when that happens, you have to just also let your mind slow down, and then that's the defilement will be go away also. Okay. Now the last one actually is that you really, because the other four you try, but either I was just trying to find another object, to counteract with it, it doesn't work, or either I just wanted to slow down mind, it doesn't work, ignoring it doesn't work, and then what is the other one? Discuss, or like feel disgust about it, it doesn't work, and what you have to do.
You suppress it. You suppress it.
Yeah, you use all your strength. You use all your strength, and just suppress it. So, and then you use all your strength, suppress it. Of course, then you have to try to build up your strength. You really, have to suppress that. This is actually very hard, but it's very, very powerful. So like I have to face to you. I'm not changing objects, like loving kindness, whatever. Okay, I'm just looking at you. I'm saying looking at you mean not the person, okay? I mean the anger. I just looking at the anger, and I just use my focused, in other words, your strong mind, in other words, with the samadhi, or with at least the focused mind, I just want to kick you out. And then you take, there's a simile, so you take this kind of thing, just like you become a strong man. You can grab that person and then fling that person and put it out like that. So, you see how wonderful meditation is.
Yeah, wrestling too.
So, and this is, anyway, it's one of the things I want to mention is that it's important to understand the mind, because samadhi is a kind of mind too, but samadhi is just the state of the mind. When you are, it becomes wholesome, right? And that's why this mind exists. Like I say, because when the intention was correct, and then you stay in the very stable mind, or the wholesome mind, but that's how the mind exists. And the same way, whatever the intention correct or not correct, but when the mind is not stable and you stay with the unstable mind, meaning not samadhi mind, wavering mind, so that's how the mind exists too. But then you also recognize that your mind also can exist, so either they are stable or not stable still, But then now this is an interesting subject. So with that, but when you have the samadhi, the third one actually you start to recognize, because with that you recognize that when like this, some defilement will be stripping off. That's very important. By recognizing the defilement actually is associated with the mind, maybe put it this way. And with that, then you will start to learn what kind of thing I don't want it, okay, because it makes me problem. Like a clothes, it's beautiful clothes, it's strip it off. But now I'm saying in the deeper sense, it's not about just this, the dust will attach to my clothes, but it's about how the dust come along, okay? So you're fighting with that. So that's why the object, when it arises, when the object arises, you can use 5 ways to tackle with that. But if you know how to, when the object arises and you can, if you can tackle it, really you can tackle it, then your mind is very, very resilient and very powerful, okay? But that also, you can understand that is also one of the different kind of quality, one of the different kind of mind quality you have developed, okay? Right. All right, so the last few things I want to say, I think I would almost end up the talk, but the last few things I want to say is that, because some people give me a paper also, then I would say, some people, if they do the joyous meditation, for example, and then while they do the joyous meditation, given an extreme case, it's like they meditate, that person is killing a dog, they feel joy, and you meditate on the joys, like the extreme case. Certainly, this is certainly the wrong idea. And that's only foolish people who think that way also. Now, let me just say about in Buddhist understanding, because when you meditate and you're thinking about a person's killing a dog and think they have a joy, is wrong. They don't have joy. The moment actually they kill the dog, definitely in Buddhism, there's no way they have the joy is there. They only have a hatred, because if they no hatred, and then so killing would never be, the act would not be never done. Okay, that's a Buddhist understanding. So that's why when the people think that is killing itself, that moment has a joy, is a wrong way, like a wrong idea already. But I also have to recognize, of course, when people practice meditation, still that's a reason why you practice make perfect, because the more you practice, the more you realize, understand the Dhamma. The more you understand the Dhamma means you understand your mind, understand the body, understand many things. So with that, of course, then you also realize this visualization this way, it is not the correct visualization too, okay, right? So that's one thing I need to say. And the second, to remember when we, even though however much we are talking here about, you know, how you develop samadhi, and then so maybe in Q&A, because different you know, practitioner ask different questions. So, and all these things, you know, it should not become the important thing to tell people who do not know. You know, because you must understand, in other words, I mean, I'm not here to say what you can say, what you don't say. This is, no, I'm not, this is, you are adult, you know. But we have to also understand what is the main purpose of our practicing. The main purpose of practicing is to change yourself, right? It is not because, oh, I have this power, I have that power, I'm this, and I heard the guy have that. I'm not sure whether he has or not. I don't like he has that. So, and I don't know whether it's true, because looks like they're talking is so nice, and I don't have that. So, and then especially, you don't even know, and then you go to tell other people. How the people will know, right? So, and then don't have to talk this thing. So the importance always like, it makes my mind calm. It makes me think something more deeper. It makes me more understand what kind of relationship I should do. And is there any way I can forgive the thing? Is there any way I can, you know, build up a better relationship? Those things, if you talk, that's it. That will be actually good for you also, because they should be the main target of your meditation, right? And then, and also, this kind of talk will help the other to understand too. So it's very important. Rather than, I used to don't like it even when I was in earlier time, when the people, you know, I know that people always talk the topic like, oh, the person have a deep samadhi, and he just came in the second day, and then the other people will say, yeah, Then it's, yeah, look at that person, he have 2 years, he's such a stupid guy, 2 years, no samadhi. And the others say, yeah, those are the topic. And then maybe, oh, maybe you know the teacher didn't like him, that's why, it's all these kind of funny topic. And then that's the reason why the wonderful teachings become ugly thing, right? So that is because when the people have a defined mind, it means problem mind. When the problem is defined mind and they don't no compassion, and of course ignorance, of course, is the main thing. And then that makes it become a defined with a defined mind, and then he actually defile all other people, and then create a worse karma. If that is a way you make people misunderstand actually the main purpose of meditation or the practice, you stop people practicing. But trust me, there are people they do that also because they don't want many people practice. Sometimes I'm not, yeah, because if other people practice, I will deprive my existence, okay? Because if the only few of us practice, then we become more important, right? This is what we call the secondary defilement is there. And it's very clear if the people have this kind of thought goes to them, at least that moment is there, is because certainly they don't have samadhi. Because when the samadhi is there, I said that already, the secondary defilement definitely will strip off. So even though maybe it can easily attach to you because your clothes is not strong enough, right? So now that is the second thing we must understand, how actually the way to promote your, when I say promote, sorry, how the way to upgrade yourself to be a better person, and also always with your verbal and your action, develop a goodness to yourself and other, okay? So in a verbally to tell them, it changed me, make me be a better, be considerate. So, don't worry about me, but think, now you be considerate, I want to abuse you. Let them do abuse you. They do their own thing. I do my thing, right? And this is how the purpose of your practice. No? The practice is to tackle the problem, right? So, and let them do whatever they do, and you can change them. If you cannot, anyway, learn to tackle with it. So that is the importance also, and then express through your verbal or your physical body. That means your action. And also do not deliberately, because you are having a samadhi, you deliberately have to walk slower. I'm different from you. And when the people are very joyful, happy, you are in a deep samadhi. Because you live in a world full of people who would not understand, And imagine, if you ask me what I like to do, I'll give you one example. I would like when you come for retreat, ding ding, I'm still here. There's no Q&A. If you ask me what I like, if you ask me, truly speaking, I can just quiet for the 8 days. Think lunchtime, morning breakfast time, and then if I like, I sit here. If I don't like, I don't sit here. You maybe saw other place, and 8 days, ding ding. Okay, we go. That's what I like, if you ask me. If you really ask me, so, Dhammadippa, what is your ideal retreat for yourself? Myself? I would just do my meditation, and then that's a retreat. But like that, but of course, it doesn't mean, please don't take it wrong also. So when I have the Q&A, when I give a guidance, I also learn, okay? I also definitely learn, and it was very nice. People asking good questions, and then sometimes make me think how I should answer it, and it let me have much more skillful and have many ways of looking at the thing too, right? It's also a process of learning. But if I don't reach out that way, maybe I'm good, or actually I would maybe not necessarily become better also, not necessarily, because the worst thing can be you think I'm the best, right? So, and then that's one of the big things. And sometimes when the people ask a question, you do think, I don't even know that. But then I did a thing, and that also makes you kind of like check on yourself, you know, something maybe I'm not necessarily clear about, and why, and maybe, you know, if I have chance, I should, what, anyway, that's helping, so I just say. The other example I want to say is that this one is, yeah, if that's you only want to be just to show the proudness, it's very easy, you know. So when you come in and come out, you might not just say any word, stand up, bow to the Buddha 3 times, bow to the abbot, that's it. And then you always see the abbot like a Buddha statue sitting there, you know. Okay, so that's very important. All right, just so I guess I have really so far I think so have said what I should say. I mean, the main purpose of practice. Okay, remember again, cultivating the samadhi is still very important, because with that there are so many wonderful things you can use it. All right. And then, especially by practicing the 4 light abiding, and then you have 4 very powerful weapons, you know. And these kind of weapons, it's all your friends, maybe best to say. You have 4 best friends with you, and these 4 friends, they can always actually help you to tackle so many problems, you know, and including yourself. Okay, like I say, the joy, so always one. So you could actually, when you feel the joy, in another sense, you could just, with the joy, develop samadhi too, right? That's back to what I just earlier to say. When you have a memory, you remember what is a good state, go back to the good state. It's one of the very quick way. So, and then how you express through your physical and through your verbal, and how you let your mind, you know, have a good karma. So I also explained that already. So that is the main thing. Always almost like back to your virtue. Your virtue, develop a good virtue, means let your good mind always flowing, okay, you know, express a good words to people, and then, you know, bodily be nice, right, be good. So that's how people learn. That's also is a way not only good for yourself, but good for the other too, so that they know actually you've been transformed. It's because of that, right? Okay, and that is how also the main thing actually in ethical Buddhism also, because the only person, we say, the only person who really can keep the 10 virtue, I mean the best virtue, perfect virtue, is only the Buddha and Arahant. Why? Because through the samadhi, and they have cast away all the defilements. Only when they can cast away or abandon all the defilements, then they are the best in there. That's why the body and the physic and the bodily, that's what in other words mean the body, the verbal, and then the mind are always pure. Okay. All right. Yeah. Also, I need to say thank you for your coming too. So we have a great time here. Right. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.